So that's why I listen to Lloyd. I know of no known system in the world that gets more power out than you put in.
I think there's a difference between a theory and like actual proof, because there's a lot of things that are theories, but people actually take it as fact, which, and then vice
Well,
versa as well.
this is why I'm a stickler for the language. A scientific theory is not a theory. So when people
Mm.
actually get loose with the language, sometimes the message get lost in translation because the language isn't specific. Again, this is why I stress it. This is why I stress it. I know the ramifications. If I don't get the language down, I can't reach my audience the way I want to. I could lose them because I said something that was fundamentally off and didn't make sense and confused the hell out of the people that actually know what I'm trying to say. Like, that's not right. That doesn't even make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I have to humble myself and listen to why it doesn't make sense. I had to train myself to do that. And I'm okay with that now because I know that makes me stronger. So that's why I listen to Lloyd. That's why I listen to some of the ideas that I've heard on the internet are crazy. I'll listen to it. I'm not here to just throw darts at it. I'm listening. But understand when you do this, it violates a fundamental law that we know there are no known exceptions to this. One of them in thermodynamics, you can't get more power out than power in. That is a fundamental thermodynamic law. No system
Or
does it.
its energy can't be created or destroyed, but yeah.
Same difference. It's the same difference.
Well,
It's it's that means you can't create more power than you put into it. It's the same. It's saying the same thing.
not necessarily true. I mean, our bodies work off of how much watts of energy. Yeah, we could actually output way more energy from our bodies than what is actually being
You
used.
you know that energy came from somewhere though, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it can be from very small nutrients that
Yes.
probably in the grain of rice that you eat gives you way more energy than what you're actually, using in your
Yes.
body.
Yes, I agree. I'm again. You. It's still power in, power out. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I
It's the
know,
same
but
thing.
yeah,
Your body
that
doesn't create power that it didn't already have.
yeah,
You
that's
can't
why I
just.
say
Yeah, I'm sorry.
it's
Go ahead. Go
not
ahead.
necessarily, yeah, it's not necessarily exactly the same, that you can't get more in than you get out, or get more out than you put in. That's why I was saying it's more that energy can't be created or destroyed, which is more reasonable. But um yeah, I get your points, but yeah, I just think sometimes people they listen, because I like to listen to people, but the difference is that some people, they listen to reply instead of listening to understand, and I think there's a distinction between the two. I think this is kind of what's going on between you and Lloyd. This is why we can't progress.
Well, I told him why I don't understand some of the things he says. And he gets mad at me because he says, well, because I didn't say it right. Well, again, I'm the audience. You're pitching your idea to me. I'm the audience. If I don't get what you're telling me, either there's something wrong with how you're saying it, or it's my understanding or misunderstanding of what you're saying. Either way, we can't come on common ground unless we break it down to smaller pieces. What are you talking about? Because here's where I have a problem with what you just said. I know of no known system in the world that gets more power out than you put in. But yet you're telling me there's energy that we can capture out of this thing and do something else with it. I argue we had to have put that energy in there first in order to get it out. So what are you telling me? I need more information because you're losing me on that fundamental flaw. I'll call it a flaw. And that's where the dissension comes in. It starts getting all, you got the institution telling you that they lied to you and the government, like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not talking political. I'm not talking all that other stuff. I'm only coming in with math and physics. That's all I have. I don't have a political opinion. I don't have a personal opinion. I don't have any opinion biased by me. I'm telling you what the numbers are telling me.
So, so ID, I know. In case Lloyd today showed us a model where we know already they have a way that they can be able to increase the voltage. Now, in case he showed us another model where he's now able to increase current as well on the same system, where he's able to increase current and voltage. Now you will agree and maybe start looking into it and see how they're doing it.
Well, the only way he's going to increase current is to put those panels in parallel, but he's never going to increase voltage that way. He's going to be stuck at 17 volts or whatever it is. But the output of zero point zero 0.03 amps is going to be consistently coming in if you put them in parallel. So if you have 10 of them at zero point zero 0.03 amps, you're going to get zero point 0.3 amps for 10 panels. But again, it's still mathematically sound that you can't get more out than you put in. So he can configure it any way he wants.
Let,
I can literally tell him, you really don't even have to put the panels together. I can show you the math. You ain't even got to waste your time, but do it just so we can see. I'm willing to listen, measure it. I want to see it. So we both understand. Now we're on the same common ground. That's all I've been asking him to do. Just show me what you need to show me to make sure we're in the same ballpark of conversation. When you start talking about pulling in batteries and controllers and the grid, and you're just muddying the waters. Don't do all of that. You're making it worse. Just focus on a small, simple, confined piece, and we can talk about that. That's
I,
all. That was my approach. Don't bring in all this other stuff.
40 supersonic. No, I mean Tech 9 is asking who is this. It's 14 supersonic who is live today. I know you guys and him, you're always on different sides. Yeah, and for Tech
Oh
9
yeah,
is
yeah. This is supersonic tech nine. This is you have history.
I mean, he could say that. He could say whatever he thinks, but I mean, he
oh,
needs to
40,
also give some proof too.
40 supersonic. Yeah, 40 supersonic says there's nothing like free energy. But when it comes to free energy, you say that it depends on the definition of the person of the term.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
even if it's free for you, when you want to scale up, like solar will be free for you, but you have to spend on buying the equipment and all that. But if you want to scale it
yeah,
up and
yeah.
apply to your neighbors and maybe more
Hey,
people,
where does
you have.
ChatGPT get its answer when it's answering a scientific breakdown?
You're saying,
It's getting it from the knowledge learned, right? There has to be
Yeah,
some database of where it's grabbing this from. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like obviously it's
It's
keywords.
it's
It's hitting
it's
on
its
keywords, but
training. It's its training data. Yeah. I
yes.
mean, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a bit more complex than that because a lot of people think that the models are just spitting out exact representations of the data, but it's not really like that. Even though it can do that, it's not really doing that. It would be a whole talk to explain that. Maybe we could get into that some other day if we're like really getting into a deep dive on AI. But
There's an
yeah,
there's a there's a I guess the way I see it, like because I remember when the Google thing happened, I look at it as like when Google used to be the thing to go and search, it'll give you references. It didn't actually parse out the pieces you wanted. It just hit keywords and boom, here's 10 articles about whatever you're looking up. Chat GPT attempts to make some correlation with the information it's getting. Whatever way it does that, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't claim to know. But I know it's making an attempt to interpret the answer. Google
yeah.
doesn't do that. Google doesn't do that. It only just gives you here's the article, here's the PDF, here's the website that got keyword
Actually,
hits. Here you go.
actually, Google does have somewhat of an intelligent algorithm behind it, but it's not, at least not to
Now,
my
right?
knowledge, it's not like an actual AI. Well, it could be at this point, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
now,
it
right?
does
That's
have
like a new
something.
add-on.